Holy flight plan, flight checkers. It is season 1.5, episode 1 of Flight Check. Welcome back to the show. Once again, I just not got off a plane, but just got out of a car that I was in for about 14 hours. And I came all the way here from where I was just to deliver high-quality Flyquest 2022 content to you alongside my co-hosts to my left and my extra left, Noxwar and Curly Double Q. Fellas, how are we doing tonight?
Very happy with the amount of dedication you're showing to the show right now, Sandy. You really, really know how to put the extra effort in. So I'm happy.
I have never missed an episode, and the streak was not going to end tonight.
I believe that.
Yeah.
This man really drove all the way from, where were you? Furnace Fest?
I was down in Birmingham, Alabama as of, 7:30 this morning. So.
Oh my God. This man made like a road trip just to get back in time for this.
The road trip of all time.
In 10 minutes and threw a blazer on because I had the cracked idea like 90 minutes ago. Hey, what if we put jackets on?
What if we put some jackets on? Yeah, wouldn't that be pretty dope?
TMB says get some ties, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but that'll be 30 minutes of me trying to figure out how to remember how to tie it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I could
tie, but I don't have
throw
a
tie on, but there's no collar. I don't think it would quite work. Yeah, I also am just rocking the Sunny Quest jersey right now.
Team shirt blazer. That's how you know what we're about, because we're the cool GMs. You know.
Well, this is the press conference, right? This is the off-season press conference. We're just going to take it 1 week at a time, one deal at a time, one trade
Ashley
at a
King
time.
is going to be here in 10 minutes.
Yeah, she's going to
be dropping some news from some Korean prospects.
Asking some questions. There's some hype Korean solo queue players that we're looking at, and then we're on to TSM next week. Anyway, I had a wild last few days. Nox, what have you been up to this past week?
I had some friends get engaged on Friday, so they came back this week and they're like, we need to celebrate. And I was like, okay, whatever.
Pull my thumb,
Yeah, so basically I was out at their place. We were out getting food, drinks. It was nice. A very fun, long weekend.
Excellent.
So it was a good time.
Love to hear it. Curly, how are things for you, my friend?
I also had quite the entertaining weekend. Spent a good amount of time with some friends. Went to a Harry Potter themed affair on Saturday night.
Ooh, very exciting.
I wanted to break the blazer out.
I assure you it was way less formal. When I say Harry Potter theme, I mean very, very loosely. Had some real good time. Also, fun fact, I am just slowly trying to learn French, one day at a time.
Yeah.
Reasons.
Really? Really?
They know why, but there's no particular reason. No, that's personal life. This is business.
This is business. Well,
sure, we are in our business attire. Right?
We are in our business attire. Let us
I'm learning French so that I can speak to Hans-sama when we
as
our ADC
when we sign Hans from Rogue
then when Adam surprisingly leaves Fnatic after one season.
Yep. I mean, I could see it. I mean, an Adam NXI triple Hans-sama diamond team, I would not say no. I would not say no. Just call it a French Quest at that point.
Thank God.
A baguette quest.
Baguette quest. Croissant quest. Yes.
Flyquest.
Flyson.
Flyson, I love it.
We probably shouldn't be making bad French accents, making fun of the French. It's probably
Road Roller just with a plain old stop in the chat.
All right.
Before we piss off the entire French community. Well, we are here in our fresh...
That is a great emote, Bryce. I'm sorry to interrupt. Yeah. That is amazing.
That is perfect. We are here in our fresh attire, ready to talk about what 2022 may look like for Flyquest. We've got a little bit of interim time before Worlds starts next week. I will note next Monday night will be our big Worlds preview show. Flight Check going international once again. Excited for that. But for now, not much going on in the Flyquest realm, so we are going to discuss a little bit of the GM situation and see what possibilities might be out there in terms of roster moves for next year. We asked for people to submit their potential rosters to Noxwar via DM. Slide in his DMs, if you will. And we received several great lineups that we are really excited to dig into. We are going to start off, though, by discussing each of our potential lineups. And Nox has a massive presentation ready
Nox
to go
wrote
for
the
us.
assignment, so he understood the assignment.
Yeah, Nox wrote and understood the assignment. So I'm going to just start off with one thing. This is a bit of a meme. You know me. I'm more on the host side of things, so I'm going to keep it interesting for us. We all know that there is a certain retired mid laner who might be coming back to pro play. And I believe it's time that we do what's right. And we sign Bjergsen to an extensive 2-3 year contract as the new face of Flyquest. Fly Bjergsen should be the move for this team. You keep Jose, you keep NXI sitting in Academy as well. I would be interested in pursuing someone like Dokla or Jenkins for top lane. Keeping Kumo around as well is also a possibility. Bot lane, I'll be honest, I've got absolutely no idea. So that's why I'm going to turn it over to Curly, who I'm sure has a much better idea as to what the roster should be. But that's my submission. Fly Bjergsen, I don't hear anyone saying no quite yet. But that might change in just a minute.
Well, I'll give you a pass, Sandy, because you've been driving all day, but I don't know if that's in the realm of possibility.
I'll be honest, I was driving for like about the last 7 hours, and I did start thinking about the potential roster, but I was like, I'm not going to make my buddy who's in the seat next to me look up the global contract database on his phone, and, I'm going to let him just kind of sit there and nap or read as he pleases. But Curly, I know you have got a roster ready for us, so please give us the details.
I do indeed. And I would like to preface this with I did not copy Nox's homework, but I did use it to assist in mine. His research and presentation was very good at helping me not spend like multiple minutes trying to find whose contracts are ending, yada yada yada, all that stuff.
So what you're telling me is it was a hey, you can copy my homework but just change one or two things so it's not.
See, actually, here's the thing. But we didn't. But here's the thing. It actually isn't that at all. I literally just used it for reference. I didn't copy it at all. We have, I want to say, significantly different rosters, aside from maybe like one or two things that we might have kept the same. Yeah. So we're going to break it down.
I believe you.
Lane by lane, and starting with LCS and then Academy.
Okay.
So I think we can keep Kumo in the top lane. And this is because even though his LCS stint was rather short, and it was not consistently good or bad, when he had his good moments, I think they were worth it. And I think an off-season training, the team bonding will do well for him. And next year, he will perform amazingly, and he will stomp Alfari, Impact, anyone in the top lane. Fudge. Okay. He's coming for you. Kumo's coming for you. He doesn't give a crap. He's going to tear you down. Or at the very least, he's going to be a reliable weak side player. so that we can play through our mid lane or our bot side. But we'll get to those later. Now moving on to the jungle. There's no question about this. We cannot let go of Josedeodo. He has to stay there. He's just going to be... He's the face of Flyquest, in my opinion. He's such a personality, and I think like his talents are really good. And again, with the off-season, he'll have plenty of time to train with the team, get communication better, figure out strategies better, figure out how he can control the map and not have to be everywhere, but also still be able to be everywhere. So I think Josedeodo needs to stay on our front line, in our pocket. He's staying. Now, mid lane. Here's where things get spicy. As you will... I don't want to steal the thunder from Noxor's presentation, but there's a key contract ending for us this year.
Bjergsen, right? Okay.
Oh, no. Yes, Bjergsen. But no, it's from our roster. So that means we only have one guaranteed mid laner. And that mid laner will be, in my opinion, go down to Academy. Because there is a really spicy mid laner whose contract is ending on another LCS organization who I think would be really worth investing. And he goes by the name of Jizuke.
Ooh.
Jizuke. Oh, Rice Box right off the bat.
Yeah,
right off the bat.
Disagreeing with me.
Disagreeing. Ooh,
yeah.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
Spicy.
Jizuke might be quote-unquote coin flip. In fact, I know I've talked my own fair share about his coin flip style. But I think with the roster that we would surround him with, his heads flips are going to be a lot better than his tails flips. And I think with the right coaching, we can just see a lot more heads so he can take those heads.
Oh, okay.
Instead of take the L's. So I think Jizuke is well worth our time, especially if we get a nice chunk of money from the Bucks winning the championship. Now for the bot lane. I'm changing nothing here from our ending roster. Tomo and Diamond need to stay. Tomo, I think, had his shot, and because he was thrust in halfway through, it was pretty difficult for him to adjust, but he did the best he could. And I think Diamond with Kumo is such a powerful shot-calling pair that we cannot separate them. I think Kumo, Tomo, and Diamond are just essential. We literally need them to stay here. So yeah, I think that should be our main LCS roster. Kumo, Josedeodo, Jizuke, Tomo, and Diamond. And now on to the coaching staff. And I will call Nox out for this. There's a key contract that he missed out on because it's technically not in the database because I'm pretty sure this person is a free agent. The former head coach of Team Liquid, Jat. Jat is very much worth our money.
Ooh.
We should, because I want to invest in coaching the most. So whatever, if I had the check, I would write Jet and I would leave the amount blank and I would hand it to him.
I'll give you props on that one, Curly. That was one individual that I actually just did not consider whatsoever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I will absolutely give you credit on that one. That is, boom, bonus points.
Yeah, because with Kanani leaving, that leaves a very big potential hole for our coaching staff. And I've talked time and time again how important a really good coaching staff is. And Jat has plenty of success if you look at his career. Admittedly, if I'm like, I cannot confirm or deny because I'm not in the situation, but I'm 90% sure the only reason he didn't stay with Team Liquid was because Team Liquid would rather keep Alfari than Jat because they value Alfari as a player more than a coach, and that's fine by me.
And just for clarification's point, I think Jat just left of his own accord. Steve didn't want him to leave.
Okay, so in that case, even, maybe he doesn't want to coach, so maybe we couldn't approach him. But if we could, I think it'd be great. And then also, I think as assistant coach, I think we should bring Fantix up. I think Jet and Fantix as a duo would be amazing. Because when we had Fantix tagging along for the Miracle Flyquest to the Moon weekend, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I will say, would really like to see Fantix get elevated up to the main LCS roster. I know I was kind of memeing before with some of my takes, but yeah, in all seriousness, yeah, would love to see Fantix move up to the main roster for coaching. That would be a great move, in my opinion.
Absolutely. So that's my LCS roster. And now down to Academy. In Academy, obviously, we just got Phillip. We can't let him go. We got to keep him. Got to hold on to him. So he's staying there. Like, no discussion to be had. He needs to develop, and we're going to hold his hand as we do. And then in 2 years from now, he'll move up to the main roster. NXI, need a little more time in the oven, bud. But you're going to stay in our oven. You're going to be our jungler. You're going to be on Fly Academy. Palafox, you're going to stay here, bud. But you might need a little more time in Academy, so have fun, stomp some noobs there. I know you can. You absolutely can. Now, the bot lane is where things get interesting. Because Dreams is leaving. And in my opinion, I'm sorry, Johnsun, but you have not been it, Chief. So I think we need to let you go. And I think we need to grab Daption from Wildcard Red as our support. And
interesting. Okay.
And I believe Instinct from 100 Next as our ADC. These are both very young players who had serious success in their respective tournaments and in proving grounds, and the only thing that probably stopped them where they did were the way the brackets turned out. Especially with Daption, I looked into some of his statistics specifically. He has some of the highest ward placing and clearing out of any support that was present at Proving Grounds or in the EGL. And we know we struggle with some vision in Proving Grounds. So having a ward clearing, ward placing support going to be real good. And Instinct has a seriously high kill participation. He is in every fight, and he is getting those kills. And I want to say he has like a 25% kill share. So I think they got some good talents there. So that's just my opinion for the Academy roster. And then of course, hold on to Sharks as our coach there.
Interesting. Okay.
All right. Well, there it is.
I don't think I would have ever considered that bot lane for our Academy team. Okay. No, interesting.
All right. Well, Nox, time to hand it over to you. However, I have to bring up a big ol' slideshow that you made, so please hold one moment. Nox slideshow is the name of this scene. And let me add a source. We've got a blank
screen.
Blank screen on. Oop. Nice.
Listen, our technical difficulties.
There we go. We're up.
Oh. Get ready okay.
Rocking and rolling. All right. Gonna click present. Boom.
All right.
Nox
ready to get into this?
Nox Wars Armchair GM slideshow.
This is amazing. You're like, sit down, grab your popcorn, just watch this man go to town.
Grab yourself some whiskey, whatever you prefer.
Hang on, let me add Nox Cam on here, and then we can really get this.
Fun fact in Streamlabs, if you could just Control-C the source, you can Control-V it into another scene.
The problem is, I'm not in Streamlabs. I am in
OBS.
OBS.
Oh. Wild.
This is so scuffed, but
all right, there we go. Nox Wars Armchair GM slideshow, Flyquest edition. Let's go, baby. Bring it.
All right, send it on the next slide.
Current roster.
So, yep, pretty nice, easy, simple. We got Kumo top, Josedeodo jungle, Palafox mid, Tomo bot, Diamond support, and Kanani and Sharks currently as the main coaches. Our Academy roster consisting of Phillip, NXI, Triple, Johnsun, Dreams, and Fantix as the coach. Nice, easy, simple. We already covered it. Nice. Let's go. So, players and coaches with contract up this year, at least for the Flyquest organization, are Triple, whose ends on the 16th of November, Dreams, who ends on the 16th of November, and Kanani's, who ends on the 1st of November. So, those are pretty much the big things that we need to be keeping an eye out for. So, those will be the main positions that we're probably more than likely looking to fill. So, if you want to head on to the next one. The big thing that I was looking at whenever considering our moves for this year it's not just next year that we're looking for, right? We're also looking into 2023. And so a lot of what my opinion was for 2022 is it's not going to be a win now year. It's going to be let's set up for 2023. Oh, can they hear me?
I'm double checking that people can hear you. Okay, cool.
Okay,
They can hear you. Good. Go.
So my main point though was 2022 is meant to be a stepping stone year for 2023, which is going to be our win now year. So what I'm kind of expecting is we shouldn't have that win now mentality, unless Flyquest does somehow manage to come across a lot of money from the Bucks after winning the NBA Finals. I really don't know the dynamics behind that and what's the expectations and so on and so forth. I don't think Flyquest is going to receive a huge sudden inflow of cash just because the Bucks won the NBA Finals, but it'd be cool. But that's not what I'm expecting, right? I'm gonna keep my expectations grounded and based, and I'm going to expect that we're kind of need to recover a bit after this year, and we need to get our feet running again, right? So with that said, 2022 will be a year to ramp up and prepare for a deep run in 2023. So how does Flyquest do that next year? So if you want to hit the next slide.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep up with you, so.
Sorry. So top lane, Kumo and Phillip. Obviously, we just acquired Phillip. He just came up from an amateur. He's not been the best academy top laner, obviously, but he's fresh, right? Like, he's young. I think we owe it to him to continue to develop him. On top of the fact that Loyoda says he likes working with him a lot, and while I haven't talked to Fantix about it whatsoever, I gotta imagine, because Loyoda told the stream that he was in when I was talking to him about it, that Fantix specifically picked Phillip, right? So obviously Fantix saw something in him too. So we need to keep Phillip down in academy, let him continue to do his thing. I did misspell Phillip's name. Oops. Whatever. Yeah, we're gonna keep him down in academy. We owe it to him. He's looked okay. Keep him. Kumo. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. Clearly, it showed in when he was down in academy, that squad, we hyped all year long how there was so much synergy with that team, how good they looked, how they could make calls instantaneously, they're having great macro decisions, so on and so forth, right? And then we even brought him up into the LCS, and the calls were still there, but it became very apparent that Kumo was struggling to hold himself in lane, was kind of getting pushed around and bullied a little bit, and just wasn't able to really truly hold himself. And for that reason alone, I mean, like, unless you're going to keep the exact same team together, which you're clearly not, right? Because then you have to rebuild the synergy, and that's not a guarantee. I don't think we keep Kumo. I think we say goodbye to Kumo. I think it was a good attempt at developing him and seeing where he could go. I think he showed some promise, but I just don't think he's the route that we needed to take. So we can probably say goodbye to Kumo for the year. So if you want to head on to jungle. So Josedeodo Nxi, and this one's very interesting because Flyquest has put a lot of time and effort into building the brand of Josedeodo and bringing in the Latin American community. They've done a lot, such as like the Flyquest in Vivo. They've brought in lots of Spanish-speaking members to the team. We've done a lot to make sure that community is very integrated. So it kind of hurts me to say that I wasn't really that impressed with him this year. However, I did see enough to think that maybe with a different squad around him, different players, different pieces to work with, he has the potential to pop off next year and possibly into 2023, as long as he has the supporting staff members and players around him to do well. So I'm going to say that we keep Josedeodo, as hesitant I am about it. And then I know the big thing a lot of people were talking about was Tim I cannot ever say his last name. I'm sorry, Tim. Tim's little GM Armchair stream, he had Nxi as the main roster player as the jungler for Flyquest. Granted, I'm nowhere near as good at analysis as he is. However, I'm of the opinion that he's just not quite ready yet. I think he needs a little more time down in academy. He was showing lots and lots of good promise. He was showing lots and lots of good development. I just don't quite think he's ready for LCS yet, which is why come 2023, Flyquest will probably have a hard decision, or maybe an easy decision if Josedeodo doesn't pan out for what their jungler is going to be for 2023. But for the time being, I want to keep Nxi down in there, let him continue to develop, let him continue to figure out how his jungle pathing works, how he wants to play around the team, so on and so forth. Because I remember reading interviews with Kumo and Diamond from, oh man, I'm forgetting his name right now. There's an interview, I'll link it in chat here in a little bit when I'm not talking. Basically, Diamond and Kumo were saying that a lot of times Diamond's kind of helped directing, like, hey, here's where you need to be at this time. Obviously, Nxi knew how to handle his pathing and whatnot, but Diamond was kind of the one feeding him information and kind of give him a direction of what to do. So I want to see Nxi be able to do it more independently come 2022 and possibly 2023. If you want to go on the mid. So Palafox and Triple. Palafox showed a lot of potential this year, especially on things that were not control mages. However, his control mages were left me wanting, to say the least. So the potential on his other champions that he showed, though, like it was there, it was good. And I think if he can figure out how to play around the team a little bit better and maybe just work on his control mage play a little bit better, because I don't ever see control mages really ever truly disappearing out of the meta. I don't see Flyquest replacing him. I think they're going to give him another shot on the starting roster. I think he understands how to play the game and how to play with his teammates. Just needs. I want to see him continue to improve his actual individual gameplay, especially on control mages. So I expect to keep him around. Triple is interesting. I thought he was okay in Academy. I thought he was solid. He had a huge like debut performance, obviously, on that LeBlanc in that first LCS week that they played, right? I just don't think he's quite shown enough. And honestly, I wouldn't mind keeping him on the Academy team, but also at the same time, if Flyquest wants to continue to develop new players for whatever reason, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go, especially because he's one of the few that actually has his contract up this year, right? So I wouldn't be surprised to see if we keep him. Wouldn't be surprised to see if we let him go. I don't think I'd be upset either way. At the end of the day, I really do hope wherever he goes, whether he stays with us or he goes somewhere else, that he continues to find success, because I do like him a lot. I think he's a solid Academy player, and I think given time or the right team, he could really pop off on the LCS stage too. But I'm just not quite certain it is with us. If you want to head on to the bottom. So Tomo and Johnsun. This one was really, really hard for me. I say, like, in the slide that they're both developing bot laners, so to speak, even though Johnson's been around for a hot second. We've seen what Johnsun could do, though, especially when he was paired with someone like Aframu, who, I'll get into this a little bit, is a free agent right now. He looked really, really good on Dignitas last year, right? So I wouldn't be surprised that if suddenly we happen to acquire Aframu, there's already pre-existing synergy there. Get that duo going back together again, and maybe he starts popping off. On the other hand, though, you have Tomo, who I thought has looked really, really excellent throughout the Academy season. Looked really, really good on his Ezreal debut in LCS, and just had generally solid performances in the LCS when he was still playing. And even going back down later on, I think, because I think he played like 1 or 2 more games, he still looks solid in Academy. So I think, personally, for me, as much as I love Johnsun, I'm going to side more on the side of Tomo keeping that spot for the main roster and having Johnsun stay in Academy, because I actually want to keep both of them, because I think they both have great potential, and over time maybe you can swap them out and play with a little bit more. But yeah, so at the end of the day, I hope we keep them both. I think Tomo is more currently deserving of the main roster slot, especially with the plans that I'm setting for Flyquest in 2022, and I think Tomo fits those plans the best. And then last but not least, support. So, Diamond and Dreams. This is probably going to be most important, second most important or most important lane for Fly to take a look at in the offseason. Diamond had a very, very rough spring split, obviously. He got subbed out going into the last week of spring, of week 6. And even then, Dreams continued to start for the beginning of summer, right? And then Diamond looked okay again back in Academy roster. And then when the whole team got brought up again, I thought he looked pretty okay during summer. Not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it looked like almost his nerves were not there anymore, like they were in the beginning. I don't really know how to explain it, and I'm sure, obviously, interviews somewhere with Diamond could probably give a better explanation for it. But I think, honestly, if Diamond continues to play at the level he was at the end of summer when he was playing with the main team, because I think he looked okay, we should probably keep him. However, I'm not sold on the fact of keeping him on the main team. And that kind of leads me into Dreams, where his contract's up this year. You have an import player who, I'll be honest, I think he was solid, but if you're going to have an import player like that, I need more out of you. I wasn't ever really super like, holy cow, look at the plays he's doing, right? He was good. And if you're going to be importing a player like that, I would like to see more out of it, or I would like to see a more developmental player out of it. So, unfortunately, the way I see it is with his contract ending, I think Flyquest is probably going to say goodbye to Dreams. I think he was probably great for helping develop Tomo in the bot lane because he played with him for a majority of the year. And I think even Johnsun probably learned a couple things too, right? So, but at the end of the day, I don't think Dreams is probably the way Flyquest is going to go. And that'll be the end. So that is currently who we have. So now let's kind of look at what's available. So, I guess a quick summary. Just we're looking at a top laner to probably replace Kumo for the main squad, a mid laner for the academy team, preferably a young developmental player, and a new support for the main squad is what I'm looking for. Obviously, if anyone cheap comes up in the offseason, they should be looked at, but the list above is stuff that should be prioritized. And again, all this is done with the idea of trying to keep it as realistic as possible.
So what you're saying is Flyquest Bjergsen is probably not in the cards.
I think it's in the cards.
But, man, you know what? I will buy you both jerseys if Flyquest Bjergsen happens. And in fact, I'll buy you Flyquest Bjergsen jersey.
Hell yeah, baby! Let's go. All right, I'm down with that.
Respectfully, can I get a Fly Kumo jersey instead?
You know what? If you want, yes, I will make it happen.
All right, moving on to this.
Flyquest in chat saying Gray is up for grabs. What do you think?
I didn't see his contract up anywhere, but no, keep Gray. Gray's too good for us.
Yeah, we need
He's too good for us.
we need Gray to play Ukshan mid for us.
Mid only.
Yeah, Ukshan mid only. Yeah. All right.
Carry us to the trophy.
And Ziggs.
Yeah, and Ziggs. All right, next slide. Go.
All right. So currently, top laners with contracts ending this year around the globe, and obviously there's probably more than this. These were probably the notable ones or the most realistic ones that I found. In which case, obviously, as you can see on the screen, my choice personally is Jenkins. I think he's prime playability right now. He looked great on TL. He's been looking great in the academy scene. He's going to Worlds right now. He's going to get tons of Worlds experience there. I'm sure the buyout price is going to be pretty hefty on him. No, Kelsey, it's not in any particular order. It was kind of just as I was finding stuff. I would say like my top three in priority order are Jenkins, Dakla, and then I would probably put Broken Blade as my number three. That would probably be my number three. Everything else is kind of just wish-and-washy. Rice, yeah, no, I saw what you sent to me, Rice, and I was like, this will be interesting. But we'll get into that here in a little bit. But yeah, so Jenkins, I think he's going to look great coming in the next season. I think he's going to be a hot prospect for a lot of people, especially because his contract's ending. And I think really just with how good he's looked, it's just someone that we won't have to worry about. He'll hold his own, and he's even had carry games as well. And he's still young too, right? So going into 2023, I think he'll be prime, right for when we're wanting to strike for a win, right? So Jenkins is someone that I think we should actually, like our budget for the offseason, a large chunk of this should be going to Jenkins. So keep an eye out for that. Dakla is like a secondary thing for me, and then Broken Blade's kind of a third tertiary option, but I know G2's kind of looking at him right now, and G2's actually got that perks cash from Cloud9, right? So, yeah.
All I'm saying is if G2 stops their talks, I would like Broken Blade, Fly Broken.
I would absolutely have Fly Broken Blade. I think he's been a great top laner on Schalke all season long, even when it was a burning house fire. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's top laners. So Jenkins, Dakla, and Broken Blade are my top three in that order, priority. And then everyone else was just kind of stuff that I saw that I was like, maybe I'll put it on there, but not really my like number one choice. So this one I'm probably sure has some interesting takes from a lot of people, right? So like I said, upcoming mid lane prospects plus one oddball one. That one oddball one, funnily enough, being Josuke, right? And so kind of siding with Curly a little bit on this, right? Josuke had a great standout summer. he didn't really have that many coin flip moments. Don't get me wrong, he still had a couple here and there. But he didn't really have a lot of coin flip moments. Kind of being in the Oracle's Elixir Discord, I've seen Peter talk about Josuke a lot, and a lot of what I was hearing, so it's got to be kind of public knowledge to a lot of coaches as well, is that if you let Josuke just do his thing, play the style he wants, he's a little less coin flippy, and he ends up actually clutching stuff a lot more often. So I think there's actually potential for Josuke. Is he my personal choice? No, I don't think so. And keep in mind, this is for the Academy section. This is not the main roster. I'm reserving that for Palafox, which leads me into Five Fire. He's been a free agent for all of fall. He won Proving Grounds in spring with no org. Lots of people continue to swear by him on Twitter. Lots of people continue to swear by him in various Discords that I'm in. Clearly has a very strong work ethic, has a great solo queue. Everything that I've seen of him, I think looks really, really good. And the fact that he's a free agent means he's cheap. Don't get me wrong, like you still probably need to give a decent price to him. But you're not buying him out from an org. You're not really competing too hard with other orgs, I don't think. I think he's an easy snag for us. And I think he's going to work hard, and I think he's going to bring up the Academy team level a lot. And who knows? Like I said, he's young. If Palafox doesn't work out, I think he's possibly a replacement come 2023 if he continues to improve at the rate that I've seen, right? So for me, Five Fire is my personal choice for the Academy mid laner. Second for me would probably be Darkwings, and then third would be Appa. I love Appa. I'm a little biased on that. I love watching his Ruling Soul play. He's probably my number 3. So Five Fire, Darkwings, Appa, Doxa, and Josuke in that order for Academy. Or APA. I'm sorry. APA. Everyone's giving me crap. I'm sorry. So yeah, that's my order for mid lane prospects for the Academy team. If you want to head on to the next one. So support options, and this will be probably the biggest one that we spend more money on. And obviously, it's no surprise. The community's been all over it. Afromu. His contract's up this year. I think it's pretty clear and simple. You also have Johnsun, so that opens up another option to consider because you have pre-existing synergy with Johnsun. It just, no matter what, I think Afromu's great at developing young AD carries and working with them and making sure that they are performing at their best. So for me, I just have to go with Afromu. Second option, I think, is Treats. He's already been in NA. He already understands the culture. I think he's been a great support, even on SK when they were struggling. I think he was probably the best member on the SK team, right? So for me, I think he was easily our second best choice that we should probably be willing to spend a little bit of money on. I don't think SK is going to be willing to give him up that easily, though. You probably have to spend a fair chunk of change on him because I think SK realizes that he's the best player currently on that roster. So that's my second choice. I don't think we're going to get him just because they're probably going to ask for a huge buyout, or not buyout price, but SK is going to make sure that he stays, right? They're going to offer him a lot of money. Personally, for me, my third choice was Vander. His contract's also up. He's just a solid support, right? He's been around the block for quite a while. He's a very big veteran. I think he could absolutely lead the team where they need to go down the line. The question is whether or not he wants to stay through 2023. I think if Vander is going to continue playing, he's probably going to want to be on a team that's going to need to win now mentality. So I don't really see him joining. And then Effort's contract is also up. And it's one of those things that having a Korean support, I don't really see Flyquest taking the time to invest in the infrastructure for. Because per my knowledge, I don't really think we have any huge, solid Korean speakers on the org. So he's a good support, I think. And that's about it. I don't think there's much other reason to continue to pursue him.
I would just like to interject that you forgot to put limit on this from Schalke.
I wasn't a huge fan of limit. I'm sorry.
That's fair, and I'm not saying like he's my pick, but you got to have a comprehensive list, man.
True. I guess I probably could have had him
SMH.
on the list, but I was not a huge fan of Limit personally. But yes, you were correct, Curly. I probably should have had him on the list just to hey, here he is available. That's all my support options. So if you want to head on to the next slide. So coaches. These are all the coaches that are up this year. Invert, in my opinion, has been very solid for Dig, especially in the Academy team. I mean, they made a huge run in Proving Grounds. They've shown a lot of huge development. My cat is sneaking into my room. Yes, cat. Hello. I think he's been great for development rosters, and it's someone that I would like to see brought over to Flyquest. Dylan Falco, who's also now a free agent, especially with Schalke 04 leaving EU. So I think that'd be a great option there. Outside of that, I don't see us getting cold because I think TL is going to want to hold on to him. I don't see us getting Curry because I think TSM is going to want to hold on to him because I think Curry's a really, really good coach and TSM realizes that. There's no way that we get Curry back as much as I would love it. Like, if I were to have a list of like who I want Curry back. I think Curry's an amazing coach, but I don't think it's going to happen. Peter Zhang, who's been with TSM for quite a while as well, is also up this year. Same deal. I think Peter, well, this past year, I don't think he's been super amazing for TSM Academy, obviously. I think he's still a very smart individual. Kind of like lower ends of what my priorities, though, are. Young Buck from XL has shown a lot of promise over the time, kind of up there, like maybe we could get. Grabs is kind of just like out there. I don't see us taking Grabs. I think he's probably got a very specific way of coaching, on top of the fact that G2 is going to make sure it's a hefty price to get him, and I don't think it's really worth the paycheck for us. And then Freddy122, who's been on Rogue, who is just available. I'm not a huge fan of his coaching because of the way the team plays. Granted, that may be more than just coaching, right? It may be a little bit of analysis or analyst, rather. So he's there. He's available. It's someone to look at maybe, but I don't think he's someone that we're really going to look at hard. But yeah, I'm really sold on Invert, who I think has had a great year in Academy, and I'm really sold on Dylan Falco, who has a fairly nice resume and is really, really available right now with Schalke for no longer being part of the LEC. All right, I think we're getting close to the end if you want to go next. All right, so final lineup for the ramp up into 2022 into 2023. My ideal main roster would be Jenkins, Josedeodo, Palafox, Tomo, and Afromoon, with the coaches Invert and Dylan Falco. The Academy roster would be Phillip, who we're developing, Nxi, who's continuing to hone his skills, Fire, who I think is an amazing mid laner who deserves a shot on the Academy stage and possibly as a replacement for Palafox in 2023 if Palafox doesn't pan out. And then I think Johnsun and Diamond are really, really awesome. They've got great synergy, and they continue to perform well. And I think they're a great possible substitute in for Tomo and Afromoon if they don't work out, or even just swap Johnsun in for Tomo and pair him with Afromoon for that reason alone. Oh, and yes, Academy Coach Fantix. See, Kelsey says promote Fantix. I highly, highly considered it. The only reason I didn't is because the few times I've had a couple conversations with Loyoda is Loyoda says he likes working with him a lot and he's great for developing players. And so for me, I was like, well, if he's great at developing players, like I want to keep him in the development section, right? So by all means, I debated heavily over promoting Fantix, but I think I like him in the academy coach position because he does a great job of making sure those guys get what they need to understand how to play and helping them reach their successes later down the line. Almost no coaches want to stay in academy, Sag. Yeah, I mean, kind of expected too, right? You want to like get the paycheck bump with it. You want to get the prestige of being on the actual main roster. I get it. I think I want to keep him there just because his pedigree for what he's done so far in academy has just been so good. And I think that's the end of the slideshow. So
yeah,
we can bring it back to ourselves.
We are back to the regular 3-man show here. That was
sorry for the 1-man show for a little bit.
that was
amazing. That was wonderful.
An educational moment beyond any doubt. Looking back on this, there's a lot here from your perspective lineups that I really agreed with. I love the Falco and Invert thinking. Would love to see Invert back with us. Jenkins, I think I had said myself, great top laner that I'd love to see us pick up. Jose and Nxi. Fire, loved seeing that. Or APA, are two mid lane. APA, Nox. It's
not
APA.
A Sky Bison.
Not the Sky Bison from Avatar, but APA.
I unfortunately don't get to listen to the casters a lot because when I'm watching Academy and amateur streams, it's usually at work and I can't have sound on, so I'm usually just kind of like peeking at the screen like, oh,
you mean when you're watching the VODs on your own free time, Knox, right? Yes.
You presume that I have free time.
Same. We don't need to get into that. All right. Well, very educational, very good. There's a lot here to digest.
Honestly.
But let's now, Curly, was there anything that you wanted to say about this before we move to the community submissions?
I mean, I guess, I don't know. How would we make a roster together, Nux? Like, what pieces? Because I want to say,
The way I thought about it was our main difference was that bot lane for Academy, right? And then because you had Jenkins, right? No. Who did you have? You wanted to keep Kumo.
I wanted to keep Kumo so bad. I see a lot of prospects for Kumo, man. You know?
No, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
And if we save the money on the top laner, we can invest it because I really want the money in the coaching. And I love Invert and Dylan. Jat, man. I would.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell you what. So, because I don't want to get into a huge debate, because obviously I want to get to the community stuff, right? So, I'll tell you what. You want to debate bringing Jat in over Invert and Dylan Falco, and we can do that for like 5 minutes, and then we community takes. Because if we get into Kumo versus like Jenkins, I feel like you and I are going to go back and forth debating that for a while. And I don't want to ignore the community.
I'll step in as the host here. Let's make it 45 seconds each. Curly, I'm going to give you 45 seconds in just a moment, as soon as I get my stopwatch going here. 45 seconds on Jat in 3, 2, 1, go.
Look at spring split of 2021, and you will see Jat's coaching popping off. Yes, he had a star roster to work with, but just because you have a star roster doesn't mean you're going to have the perfect hands to put them together. But Jat did. Jat knows how to instruct a winning team, and the only thing that stopped them from winning LCS Spring was a 5-head move from C9. And he learned from that. I want to say TL was pretty good in the first half of the summer split. So if you just look at this split alone, I think it shows his history. And then he has always been a top tier analyst. He worked for Riot for years. He knows the game in and out.
Time.
He will guide us to victory.
Okay. All right. Nox, you now have 45 seconds for rebuttal. Go.
I don't see a world where currently Jad is wanting to come back as an analyst or head coach currently. I think he's going to take some time off. I think he also wants to probably go settle back into his Riot job, per se. Plus, if we look at Dylan Falco and Invert, they've been in the scene longer. They're both very good developmental coaches. They understand, they have the experience, right? They've been around for a while. And I think what I was reading earlier is Invert's also been a part of Flyquest in the past. So he kind of knows how the org works a little bit too. So I think with the pre-existing synergy that we've had there, on top of the fact that their pedigrees and their just experience in general, I think it outweighs Jat, as smart as Jat is. And I think they're both very smart individuals. I think both of them combined will be what Flyquest needs to succeed.
Lovely. That was almost right on time. Curly, I'm going to give you 10 seconds for a final rebuttal statement.
I don't have one.
That's okay.
Yeah, no.
I don't have one. You were right all along.
It's fair. Yeah, no. That's
No, that's great. All right.
I think taking into account the money, that's also probably more practical investment.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's get into the community submissions. We have some ready to go that were submitted to Noxwar ahead of time. But if you are in the chat right now and would like to submit a quick roster, let's just stick with main roster for any chat submissions right now. Go ahead and drop those right now. I know there are a few of you in here. But Nox, why don't you please read off the first roster that you have for us to discuss?
We'll start with TMB's roster.
TMB. All right.
So TMB's roster is actually very similar to mine. His top laner of choice is Jenkins. His jungler of choice is Josedeodo. His mid laner of choice is Palafox. And this is where we begin to differ a little bit. His AD carry of choice is Luger, which that's a very good option, and I think it's something to be looked at. And his support is Afromu. His reasoning, he kind of gave me a spicy one, which I can mention here in a second. So what do you guys think of that one? So instead of Johnsun or Tomo, you put in Luger.
Okay.
I like that a lot.
So from top to bottom, it was Jenkins, Jose, Pala, Luger, Afro.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Luger is also somebody that I have been paying a lot of attention to, and really like what I'm seeing from him. I think he would be a great talent to bring on the team. And I don't think you could bring him on in an academy capacity. It would have to be an LCS main roster. I think he would be fantastic. Let's get some more, he's Turkish, I believe, correct? Some more Turkish talent into the LCS. I think that would be a great add. I would be very happy with that, actually. That'd be fantastic.
I also like the combo of Jenkins and Luger, like bringing up academy players that definitely deserve their time in the LCS. Because I think, number one, as a brand, I think that'd be very good for Flyquest, showing like, hey, we believe in new talent. But then also they have shown their chops, and as Nate ID says in chat, Luger Afro would be a nasty combo.
It would be a very nasty combo.
Yeah. No, I like this roster because you've got Afro for the shot calling aspect. Jenkins has shown he can hold his own in LCS. Kelsey saying, "Imagine having the money to buy out Luger." Yes,
and
I do.
What I was going to get.
That is the big issue with this roster, is that Luger's price tag ginormous. So that is a big issue.
What if we just buy Nade Shot a new speaker?
Maybe we could buy Nade Shot somebody to proofread his tweets before he.
Okay,
before
so
he
real quick.
Yeah, by the way, none of us are pros, so all of or ex pros. So everything we're saying here is completely invalid. By the way, so
quick side tangent, real quick. In the Discord, like, I forget who linked it, but like they linked you making that tweet on the Flight Check Twitter.
Wait,
and I was like, "What is?"
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know what the reference was. Like, none of us knew. And we're like, "What the heck is Sandy typing on the Twitter account now?"
Yeah, no, when I saw that, I was like, "Bruh, what?" But then I saw Nate Shot's tweet, and I was
okay,
yeah.
Side tangent aside,
if you weren't a fan podcaster yourself, you shouldn't be making top 10 podcast lists. Yes, I agree.
Exactly. I do want to bring up Kelsey's point, though, one more time, just real quick, is just imagine having the money to buy out Luger, which is kind of the reason why I think none of us really had him on any of our lists. And that's probably the main reason I'm going to have to dock points for TMB on this particular roster. I do like the roster. I like the potential of it. I think it could be really, really good. I just don't think Flyquest currently is going to want to spend the money to acquire it, because there's going to be other positions that can fill that role well enough while saving money. Because you're going to want to spend that money come 2023.
Yep, I like it. All right, let's keep it rolling. Next roster, please.
So, you know what? We'll knock Rice Boxes out of the way, because his was very similar to mine. So his most realistic roster, or I guess let me shout out TMB's crazy one real quick.
Oh boy.
We won't discuss this one. This is just, he wanted me to shout this one out. His spicy one was Tenacity, Yankos, Palafox, Tactical, and Biofrost.
Huh.
Yeah.
America's Bank just called.
Yeah.
You are severely in debt.
So, like I said, we don't have to get into that one. He wanted me to shout that one out. So there you go.
What game of Monopoly are you playing?
So let's see. Ricebox's most realistic roster, taking into account brand power, players' likelihood to actually join, so on and so forth. Ricebox has Jenkins listed. I think we're following a little bit of a trend here. Jungle is Josedeodo, mid is Palafox, AD carry is Johnsun, and support is Afromu. So basically, Ricebox is proposing that we basically keep the exact same roster, but we upgrade the support position with Afromu. What are y'all's thoughts on that?
Can you
That
run
doesn't
it?
sound bad.
Can you run it down top to bot for me one more
we're
time?
replacing top lane too. Sorry. So we're getting Jenkins. So we're replacing Kumo.
Yep.
We're keeping Josedeodo. We're keeping Palafox. We're keeping Johnsun, and we are acquiring Afromu. So the big things we're changing are the top and support.
So it's just Jenkins and Afromu.
This is what we're acquiring. Yes.
All I will say is, if I saw that as the starting roster, spring 22, I would be apprehensively optimistic. If I'm gonna smash those words together, I suppose I would be like, okay, kind of excited, but also it would feel like we're just making some lateral moves.
I agree with you there.
So not exactly. I know it's all about the old duo getting back together of Johnsun Afromu, but I don't know if that necessarily makes them automatically click like they used to. I think there's some other context and variables there. So I'm not super hyped on that. I would prefer maybe a more splashy signing or acquisition. We'll see. Ricebox saying, well, I think it's worth it to mention Johnsun is my favorite player. So, yeah, Rice is just trying to fit in Johnsun anywhere they can onto the main LCS. I get it. I totally get it. But, yes, we are trying to keep it a little bit realistic here. Okay.
Rice is actually making Johnsun Quest?
Actually, you know what I just realized? Ricebox is actually just Johnson's alt account. It's his it's his burner account. That's what it is. No, that's the word.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's his burner.
So let me ask you guys a question then, because the only difference between my roster and Rice's is the fact that I have Tomo as priority over Johnsun. Does that change anything?
Absolutely.
It does. I'm more
100%.
excited about Tomo than I am Johnsun after the previous year. So.
You heard it here first. Sorry, Rice.
Rice, and actually, I'm going to say this in the most respectful way I can. This roster, to me, I expect to get 6th place. We put Tomo in there, I expect to get 4th.
I was going to say, okay.
5th, maybe? 4th or 5th. I'm
going to wait until I see all the other LCS org.
Yeah, I'm going to wait until I see the other rosters before...
That's fair. There are other ones, but I'm just saying, like, right off the bat, like, if we said somehow none of the other rosters magically change...
I'm gonna wait to see which LCS org shells out millions of dollars to acquire Wonder and Mickey.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah.
C9?
Well, I don't think they can legally do that yet. But
that's true.
Yeah. All right, let's keep it rolling. Next roster, please.
All right, and then let me shout out Rice's strongest roster that he thinks is still reasonable. And this won't be the one that we get into, but he put top lane Hirit. Hirit?
It's Hirit, yeah. It's Hirit.
Yeah. Jungle NXI. Mid lane Power of Evil. If the rumors of Bjergsen for TSM is true and he's willing to buy out. Or Magic Felix. AD carries Johnsun, and support is Afromu. So, it's kind of an interesting one. I looked at a couple of those players a little bit.
All I'm saying is I like the EU presence here. Like Hirit did do pretty well on Misfits in the summer split. He popped off. So if he keeps that trend up, I wouldn't mind having him as a strong laner.
Next one, Izanami.
Alrighty.
So this one is going to be very interesting for you guys. I'll be very curious to see y'all's reactions. Are you ready?
Do it.
I'm reading it.
In the top lane, Kumo. In the jungle, Josedeodo. In the mid lane, Taz. In AD carry, Tomo. And then in support, Afromu. Are you Googling Chaz right now?
What? I don't know what you're talking
about.
No, I'm not. Oh, yes, right. Chaz.
Oh, internet. Okay.
Wow, that's interesting.
We do love a good Osh mid laner here.
Yeah, big. We are big Os fans on the show. That's for sure. Okay, so running it down, it was Kumo, Jose, Chaz, Tomio.
Tomio, unless Isa wants to correct me on that, because they did write Tomio twice, so I think it's Tomio, not Tomo. Okay, yeah, they confirm it's Tomio.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you meant Tomo? Okay.
Oh, he meant Tomo. Okay.
They meant Tomo.
That changes things up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that is an easy confusion, especially because Tomio is a jungler.
Yes. Okay. All right. So Tomo, and then who was the support?
Hey man, I mean, if you think that they can make a role swap and make a good AD carry, like I'm not gonna.
Hey, I'm not gonna say no.
After this summer, I don't know. Like anything can happen. Anyone can play any role.
And then Iza's support was Afromu.
Afromu.
Okay. Man, a lot of Afromu coming through.
I feel like we're manifesting Fly Afromu unintentionally.
We really are. We're just gonna manifest it into being. Maybe Nick is watching the stream or is gonna watch the VOD later. You heard it here first, Nick. Fly Afromu next year. Okay. So Kumo, Jose, Chaz, Tomo, Afro. All right. Not that excited.
Ooh.
Be upset about Chaz.
I'm really wanting like a splashy signing, if I'm being honest. So maybe I'm coming from it with like some bias. Yeah, and Rice makes a great point. The best OS mids are currently in NA right now. Like if you're gonna play an OS mid on your LCS roster, or you're gonna look to sign one that's available right now, triple. I mean, and he's, we already know what we have with him. Is one of your best options, and the other ones, you have Ryoma. The next best one is stuck playing top in OS. Yeah, it's true. So I don't know if Chaz is the move. Curly, how are you feeling about this though?
I mean, as I said, I do like the OS import. However, I would put him on the academy team and keep Palafox on the main team there, But I'm like not opposed to the Afromu idea that people keep coming across at all. I actually am very much here for it. And then Afromu Tomo as a combo, great. So like I like most of this roster. It really is just Chaz that I'm hesitant about. But for all we know, with the different team, he would be able to pop off way more. Maybe like he's being held back by Pentanet. Who knows? I don't know. Because it's crazy. Sometimes when you shift teams, you just magically do better. Like, look at Licorice, second half of the summer split. I don't know. But, yeah.
I'll put it simply like this. Chaz is a fun mid laner, but if you were to compare Chaz to Triple, I'm going to take Triple every time. And I'm already not taking Triple right now. So, I'll leave it at that. I do like Chaz. He's a very fun mid laner to watch. The few OPL matches that I've watched, or the LCO, I should say. The LCO matches that I have watched, even after MSI, he's still a fun player to watch down there. So, by all means, like if he continues to improve, I'd love to see him come over to NA Academy at some point. I think he's very fun. Is that it for Iza's for the time being?
Yeah, I think that's all. That's all I've got to say about that.
Now it's Hooley's roster prediction.
Yes, this is the final one that I have, unless any of you guys got any.
No, bring it.
All right. This is the final one that I have. This is from Mr. Hoolybot himself. He says, for Flyquest 2022 roster prediction, he is predicting Kumo/import. Jungle is Jose. Mid lane is Palafox. AD carry is Johnsun. And support is Diamond/import. So basically what I'm getting out of this is he's saying either we keep it or we get an import from somewhere. I'm already going to that
Broken Blade and Limit. We just.
I'm already gonna deduct points though from Hooli because he did not give me options on those imports. So
All right, I'll fill in the blank. Here's the thing. I've noticed a trend with Schalke. When you leave Schalke, you get success. Okay? Like, look at Upset. He used to be on Schalke. And now he's on... I'd argue, like, this is the spiciest looking Fnatic roster I've witnessed. Like, Ricebox, don't mention that. And then look at Abadaga, you know? So there's something about leaving Schalke. So if we inherit the corpse of this iteration of Schalke, holy stop. Oh, Huni for the mix for top. Okay.
Ooh,
but yeah, so I think Broken Blade Limit, I don't know, be spicy. We know they're available.
Yeah, I really like the Broken Blade move. I think that's a lot of fun. I think and one other thing about Broken Blade is he's a great personality to have on a team.
Oh yeah.
I think there'd be a lot of cool, outside of the games, right? There'd be a lot of cool content possibilities with Broken Blade. I think he just brings a lot of energy and enthusiasm to a team.
We could get him to do a Riven cosplay. Anyway.
We could get him to do some Riven 1v1s, or something like that. Show Gray how to play Riven or something like that. But yeah, could you run down the rest of the roster for me one more time?
So Hooli final roster is basically the current roster: Kumo, Jose, Pala, Johnsun, Diamond, with the possibility of imports for top and support.
Okay.
Hooli also, the Huni, throw Huni in the mix for top lane.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Okay, so Huni to replace Kumo. That'd be interesting.
I don't really see that one happening because I feel like Huni's probably going to want to go for a team that is more prestigious because he's only ever played on prestigious teams, right? He's played on Fnatic, he's played on SKT. I guess the least prestigious one was Immortals, basically, and even then, that team made Worlds, right? Did he play for Dignitas? Oh, he did play for Dignitas.
Huni? He played for
Clutch.
Clutch. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I take it back.
Pobelter top. Interesting. Aiza.
How about Pobelter not? Let's do that one instead.
I am actually a huge proponent for making Pobelter a player coach.
No, for sure. I want to see Pobelter.
That'd be good.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think he's a good control mage player. We get him as a player coach for Palafox, especially for control mages. Holy shit. I think that's a great signing right there. So, actually, literally, fly Pobelter 2022. Bring it back. Just not as a player. Well, that was a clickbait title we were joking about last week that we were going to make. It was like, Flyquest Pobelter 2022.
Oh, yeah,
everyone
it's
making
true.
PogChamp faces and surprise faces.
Oh my god.
Amazing. All right. So these are some possibilities. Nox, Curly, I want each of you out of the we got 4 submissions.
Yes.
I want you to pick the one that you like. I don't care about realism in this moment. Which one do you like the most? Which one would be the most? Flyquest reveals their 2022 roster. Which of these rosters would be the most exciting one for you to see?
TMB. Right away.
Also, I would also side with TMB.
TMB has got a spicy roster right here. And it all comes down to Luger. Because Jenkins and Aframu, they've been thrown around in many mix. We all agreed they would probably be really good picks for Flyquest if we want to make those changes. Just if we have the money for Luger, he's just, oh my god, man. He'd be great. And with Aframu supporting him, whew, unstoppable.
I like it. All right, Nox, what was yours?
Mine was also TMB.
All right.
Just that the X Factor and Luger.
I'm looking at it, yeah.
For what I like, I think that is the play, right? I think that would probably be one of the best signings you could get in the offseason for us, along with the rest of his roster. It's just so good. And it is actually fairly realistic, but the problem is just the buyout price. And So what I like the most is TMBs, but I did say for this competition, we were going for realism. And so if we're going for realism,
All right.
I'm going to have to pick Ricebox. And I'm not saying that just
There
because
it
his
is.
roster is super close to mine. Like, just genuinely, like, that is what it is. Like, his is the closest, most realistic one that I can.
I'm not picking the one that's the most similar to mine, guys, but I'm also picking the one that's most similar to mine.
This is Discord mod nepotism.
Yeah, it
No,
really is.
no.
The Flyquest mods just sticking together to.
They just keep passing RP around.
Yeah, they're just
I'll get Drek. You'll clear my name.
Yeah.
Dad, please.
Please, somebody. All right. Ricebox. It seems that you are we awarding Ricebox with the most realistic?
I agree with that.
Best
Yeah,
one?
no.
I'm also in favor of this. I mean, also I'm looking at this massive text box that Rice sent.
He went so in depth.
Yeah, Rice, thank you for this incredible. I mean, this is crazy. Look at this thing; it's massive.
That white screen because it's not refocused.
Oh yeah, hang on, dang it! All right, there you go. Now you can see it a little bit. Just all that text about, this team, incredible. Love to see it. Love to see the effort.
You could make that like a Twitter banner if you want. So you can read it.
Absolutely. Just make it your Twitter banner, Rice. I'm sure we can all appreciate that. Okay, congratulations, Ricebox, for winning the most realistic 2022 roster. I, for one, am very excited to see what happens. I will be eagerly watching Bloop and Jacob Wolf's Twitter pages. F5ing them furiously once November rolls around and the offseason truly begins. Is there anything further that we want to say to wrap this up? Any final thoughts on rosters and things like that? Curly, let's start with you.
I will say this. So this is Armchair GM. We're talking about rosters, but I also want to talk about just where we're spending money as a whole. And I said time and time again, and I said it in chat earlier, I would love to see us invest more money into our support staff. So it was fun to theorize with all these things, but if we kept the same roster and spent all of our money on support staff, I would actually be content with that. Because I think if we can get the team to work together, we do have a solid blend of players that just need a little bit more to enable them. And so that's something I didn't talk about in my initial presentation because we weren't worried about the support staff. We were worried about players and coaches. But at the end of the day, it's not just the players and coaches. It's who they work with off stage. And so I think that's definitely something else we should really make sure we pay attention to in our off season when we're writing checks and making the spreadsheet for the budget.
That's great. Knox, final thoughts for you.
I'm just really looking forward to the offseason. I think, really, I said this last week, I think we can only go up from where we are right now, right?
Yes. Yes. There was only, considering we finished 9th, there's very little room for us to fall. Yeah.
So I think no matter what, we're going to have an upswing. So we'll probably get some feel-good moments. I think we'll get some decent pickups. Because Flyquest is a good org, right? We don't have the reputation that is like CLG, right? Like where it's just like, oh my god.
We love trashing on CLG here, don't we, folks?
You know what? Start performing, and then I'll stop trashing on you.
There you go.
And I say that knowing full well we had a bad season, whatever. Yeah, just I think we'll be on the upswing. I think Flyquest as an org knows what they're doing. I think they know what they're looking for, and it'll be a good off season. And my main thing is the coaches. We could keep this exact same roster, but if we got different coaches, I think it'll be a better year. Period. Don't get me wrong. I think we can do better. Like, let's get some different players in there. But if we kept this exact same roster with different coaches, I think it's okay. We'd be good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's great. What I'll say on my end is, I mean, we all know, disappointing season. No bones about it. But I think the organization knows that changes need to be made. That another season like the one we just had would not be acceptable, and I fully expect the team, Nick and everyone else involved in putting together next year's roster, to try their absolute best. They will not be slacking whatsoever. They're not going to half-ass something and just throw it together last minute. They will actively be looking to make moves and do something that all of us as fans can be very proud of and cheer on all the way from hopefully a lock-in tournament through spring finals, through summer finals, and through Worlds once again, because that's where Flyquest deserves to be, is on the Worlds finals stage in front of millions. No one can disagree with me on that one. That is the show. Thank you so much for coming out to this late night Flight Check edition, the red eye edition of Flight Check, if you will.
Especially for you, Sandy.
Don't remind me. I am going to take a shower and go to sleep almost immediately after this. Very, very necessary things for me to do. And then I have to go to work tomorrow, which is going to be an absolute pleasure. I can't wait to be at work. Yes, cannot wait to go.
You could sub the word travesty in there. It would also fit.
Cannot wait to go to work tomorrow. Anyway, this has been Flight Check Season 1.5, Episode 1. Any quick shout-outs, plugs for you guys? Anything going on that you want to make a quick note of?
Keep an eye out on Friday on the Flyquest Twitter. We have some announcements coming for Pick'ems.
Ooh, I do love me some good Pick'ems, especially in the fly. I don't know. I've never seen Pick'ems quite like Flycourts, so good job, Knock.
Thank you.
With the way you run things, I like it. Let's see. Who do I want to shout out this week? Man.
No one. Goodbye.
Yeah, no. No one's worth shouting out. No, everyone's worth shouting out. I'm going to shout out to Sandy.
Oh.
Shout out to Sandy for the trek he made to come back here on time and then just running the show, hosting it, putting on a suit jacket because I had the idea, everything. Shout out to you. All right, you deserve it, man.
Aw, thanks, bud. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh. Also, shout out to, I'm assuming it was Massey, who was running the Flyquest Twitch. Shout out to her for coming on in and made great interaction. Appreciated it. Which actually also shout out to her roster, which we didn't read. We didn't do her justice. And actually, this might be the best roster yet. I'm going to say it beforehand. Nick Fantop, Drex Jungle, Gray Mid, Massey Bot, and Fiend support. The only thing that I think is unrealistic about that is Fiend's going to be too busy captaining the Valorant squad. So we're going to have to find a new support.
Yeah, you just get Trisha to play support. I mean, it's
there we go, Trisha, so, and then, in the pros team.
Yeah, there we go. Once again, Trisha returning to pro play. You heard it here first.
Absolutely. Real shout out to the Flyquest community as well.
Lovely.
Yeah, you guys have been awesome tonight.
Yeah, that's my shout out as well. Thank you to everyone who submitted possible rosters. Had a lot of fun looking at those and discussing them and roasting them a little bit here and there. That was really good. Shout out to, I have two other shout outs. One really quick one is shout out to Curly for coughing really loud during Knox's presentation and forgetting to mute.
Oh, man.
And the other shout out to, honestly, this is not a self plug, but just like what I was doing the last 3 or 4 days and why I had a 14-hour, I keep increasing the time, a 12-hour drive today. Furnace Fest 2021, great time, so many good bands, and they're doing it again next year. So shout out to Furnace Fest for giving me the best weekend I've had in quite a long time. That is all for us. It has been, as always, a great time hanging out with y'all. This has been Flight Check Season 1.5, Episode 1. We will be back with a Worlds show next Monday night. Do not miss it, back to our normal time. For now, I want to say thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe out there, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Adios!
Peace, y'all.